today we have with us Dr. Jaya Vaidyanathan. She is the CEO of BCT Digital. Jaya, welcome.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
So Jaya, BCT has started a number of interesting products. The one that I want to understand today is about your early warning system, right? What is the need for something like this in India particularly?
I think the biggest problem India has with respect to the banking system as such is the problem of non-performing assets. This is something all of us can agree. And early warning system is a product that is supposed to address, or it does address, the problem of NPAs. So let's just talk a little bit about impact and the need. Recently we did work for a bank which has an asset size of 50 billion US dollars. So when you look at a bank of that asset size, and NPA is 9.8% of that, so roughly you look at it in terms of $5 billion is the NPA that is under question.
Yes.
And it's been a proven thing that when you put a system in place and don't do anything else, right? If you just, by the fact that you have a system in place, removes bias and accountability is improved to a large extent. So if you take 1% of reduction in NPA because of a system in place, that automatically puts 500 billion back into the economy.
Right.
So impact is immense, and that is one thing of key importance, which is why we designed the product to address the biggest pain point of a banking system, which is the problem of NPAs.
Now, given that the public sector is the dominant player, in the public sector banks are the dominant players, and they've had facing huge NPA problems, does it meet their specific needs?
It absolutely does, because there are two things when you look at what is happening, contributing to NPAs. One is the willingness to pay. The second is inability to pay.
Okay.
If you look at it in terms of the NPA situation, inability is much smaller percentage than willingness, which is actually the fraud events of fraud.
Right.
And it's larger in corporate portfolios because just by the sheer size of it. So when you look at it in terms of it, the PSUs are the ones that are most impacted by the situation, right?
Yes.
So it is a compliance regulation as well, now that most of them should have a EWS system in place. More so the corrective action banks need to have an EWS system in place. And RBI has done the wonderful initiative of mandating this, and therefore all public sector banks do have a EWS system in place. So the base code model that was originated a couple of years back had 42 alerts as part of the package of saying these are the mandatory alerts that you must have.
Okay.
And now DFS has contributed to what is called EASE alerts, which is another 82 alerts that came into vogue.
Okay.
And therefore we have a much larger system of what needs to go into those alerts.
Banks have been using various kinds of credit rating systems for ages.
Yeah.
And not only the bank's internal system, there are all kinds of external service providers and data providers. How do you see the banks and lenders integrating all this? Where does your system come into play? Is it is it a cog in the wheel, or is it the wheel?
See, we don't interfere with your legacy systems. We if you, let's say that you have your core banking system from which data comes, you have your loan origination system, you have your internal data, credit rating system. We use that as inputs to our software or our product.
Okay.
So those are data points to our product, right? And to add to that, you have other agencies like Credit Bureau giving data as well. And then you have what comes from news, what comes from corporate actions kind of news.
Yes.
You have text data, you have unstructured data that comes from all the various forms that you have, or non-digitized form of data.
Correct.
So there's data residing in multiple kiosks. So we don't interfere with your traditional legacy data. Our system sits on top of it, and all the data points that come in, they come, like I mentioned, 3,000 before. It's an interesting number. So it's impossible for a human being to process all that 3,000 data points. And most people, if you asked a human being, they would say that it's my gut feel, that something is wrong with it. How do you take that gut feel and make it science? This is
Uh-huh.
where the technology of coming in of various other technologies come to take the gut feel and make it into a science.
So what kind of technologies are you using here to eliminate or reduce human bias in decision making?
Traditionally, you would look at beneficiary information. You would say that multiple payments have gone out to a particular beneficiary who happens to be in the news for the wrong reasons. And by the time the money is already flown out of the system.
Yes.
Whereas if you had the ability to kind of have an early alert to predict incipient stress, like a diversion of funds, by saying, you know what, these were the alerts that came in that said, do not lend to this person or do
Okay.
not release the tranches of loans. And therefore, why? Because I can tell you with 78.6% accuracy that they are indeed diverting funds. How powerful would that be? That is something that takes the human bias out of it through the system. And as you know, artificial intelligence is very good with doing repeated tasks better than human beings.
Yes.
And it also is very good at being objective about it.
So what has the response been from bankers to something like this?
I think there's been an overwhelming response. I think what came as an RBI guideline in 2015 via a working paper now has become a compliance requirement for all banks. So I think the response has been tremendous. As I mentioned, especially the PCA banks have to have an early warning system in place. It's mandatory. And our regulator, again, RBI, stepped up very well. And they do frequent audits to check whether it's not just having a system in place, but how effective is it is something that's being continuously monitored and improved on.
I'm sure this thing would work in so many countries,
Yeah.
not just India, even though India tends to be very special in terms of its variety and problems.
As a company, we do operate in 20 countries, Bhavan Sarvetak umbrella, and the problem of NPAs is not unique to our country. The way that we process information may be a little bit different, but then, you know, it's not just for banks. It could be even the way that a credit agency is looking to process information.
Okay.
That could, again, the traditional methodology, let's say for SME, has always been paper-based. Like you would get information from the company every quarter, then you would analyze it and rate it. It can also be used in the parlance of for corporates as well. Let me look at steel industry as an example.
Okay.
The price of electrodes kind of multiplied manifold overnight. So the entire sector was stressed because revenues cannot be proportionately increased because it's a
Right.
regulated industry. Whereas the costs are kind of escalating. So that puts into stress. So you can even use the same EWS system to kind of look at the price of a commodity as a lead indicator for stress that will come 2 quarters from now.
Oh,
So it's a
okay.
powerful system in terms of the capability of expansion, not only across geographies, but across corporates and a whole bunch of other uses.
So that's the bigger picture.
That's the bigger picture.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. And
Thank
all the
you.
best.